Good morning, guys. The Blogging Buddhist here, and welcome once again back to my basement dojo. In case you haven't watched some of my previous videos where I filmed down here, or in case you have watched and you're wondering, he's always referring to it as a dojo, but it just looks like an unfinished basement. I'll take a quick minute here and just kind of give you guys a quick look around. Yes, my basement is unfinished because we recently had the basement demolished. We had these steel braces set up. This keeps the foundational walls from caving in because, as you can see, I got a big crack there that had to be filled and concreted over because the wall was starting to buckle. But this is my training space. You can see my gi jacket hanging there. Okay, I've got the black foam matting to work out on. I've got a little Lego corner for my son to keep himself busy while I work out. And I got my bag full of martial arts swag and a couple of yoga mats. And then at the other end of things I have all the typical stuff that I use, my Eskrima sticks, my sparring gloves, my boxing gloves, some free weights, kettlebells, and of course my morning coffee because it's Saturday, and my cradle with music. So that's why I keep referring to it as my basement dojo, because it's where I'm currently working out. Of course, with COVID-19, none of the karate studios in Regina are open, or at least they shouldn't be, but to my knowledge none of them are. But anyways, I'm getting off topic here. I haven't posted a video in quite a while, and considering I wanted to at least post one video per week, I think I'm kind of falling behind on that, so here I am. Make sure to hit that like button, click the follow and subscribe if you haven't done so already, so that you can be part of my channel, and be sure to turn on all your notifications so that you don't miss any of my upcoming posts. So today what I want to talk to you about is spatial awareness as it relates to martial arts, and in fact in your everyday life. It's pretty easy to understand that nowadays people aren't very aware of their surroundings. I mean, there's not a day that goes by, and I wish I were exaggerating about this, but I'm really not. There's not a day that goes by that I don't go through a public place. If I'm doing groceries, running errands, anything like that, people have their noses buried in their phones, or even they'll be caring about their business and they're absolutely not paying attention to their surroundings, the people around them, or the things that are around them, and that can pose a lot of problems. Looking at it from a martial arts perspective, obviously you need to have some spatial awareness. Now, spatial awareness as it relates to martial arts is defined as a person being able to recognize their positioning in a given area in relation to other objects and people that may be close by around them. So basically knowing your eye distance, knowing how far from a target you are, knowing how far those targets are from you, being able to recognize that even if you're dealing with the guy that's in front of you, you may have another opponent that's standing behind you, little things like that. It's extremely important in the martial arts because in a real world fight, there's no such thing as one enemy coming at you at a time. If you've got multiple opponents, they're going to pile on you like a bad football game. From the everyday personal standpoint, spatial awareness becomes important because the world is a dangerous place, not just in the face of potential opponents, but also because picture yourself walking across the street with your nose buried in your cell phone, and you don't see that car that turns the corner. Maybe that car hasn't seen you as he turns the corner either. Next thing you know, you get hit by a car because you were busy Facebooking while crossing the street. That's a pretty common thing. Not necessarily getting hit by a car, mind you, I'm sure it happens a lot, but I mean, people having their noses buried in their phones. And you see it a lot. About a week and a half ago, I ventured into the city, took the bus, and I'm not saying that in a large city everyone is expected to just be saying hi to each other and talking to each other and stuff all the time, but I looked around the bus, my phone was in my pocket, and I'm looking around at the half dozen people that were sharing the bus with me, and not a one of them had their heads up. Everyone had their head down looking at their phone. Once I got to the downtown core, the locations I went to, everyone's walking and looking at a phone. And you see people bumping into each other, you see people bumping into items, you see people completely oblivious of their surroundings. And that can cause a lot of issues. Safety issues, social issues. We're reaching a point here where people prefer to look at their devices than to look at each other. And that can also be problematic. The other problem is when you're just completely oblivious, regardless of electronic devices. And this happens a lot with different things, like you're going down the aisle at a grocery store and the person in front of you is trying to pick out one can of soup out of 20 different blends, and they've turned and they've noticed you're there and they still don't move over for you, which just makes them ignorant, or they're completely oblivious that there's someone standing 3 feet away from them. And that's a problem. As human beings, we have an instinct within us to recognize when there are other people, dangers, obstacles and stuff around us. These are all instincts that we have, and a lot of us are starting to lose that instinct as time goes by. So very important that you be aware of your surroundings, maintain that spatial awareness. If you are practicing the martial arts, that's something that if you're in a solid dojo that's really looking to teach you the art, they're going to teach you those aspects anyways, to make sure that you're aware of where your opponent is in relation to yourself, how many opponents are surrounding you, knowing that, okay, from this distance, if I throw a front kick right now, will it reach my opponent? Will it not reach them? How far do I have to shuffle in so that it will reach them? Different things like that. That can be pretty important in terms of the martial arts. But even in everyday life, folks, there's a world around you. I know everyone loves looking at their phone, everyone loves checking their social media, everyone loves, sending a tweet or updating their Instagram or looking at that clip that someone just sent you, or even just checking a text that might have come in. You know what? At the end of the day, if it's something really important, the person will call you, and that's what that little device is actually intended to be for. It's a phone. I don't mean to sound glib, I just see a lot of it, and in a previous life, in a previous employment, I used to deal with a lot of people that would get hurt out in public because they'd be too busy looking at their phones. So that holds a bit of a soft spot for me. But that's it, guys. A little bit of a rant this morning. It's a pretty short video, and I apologize for that. I do have some great content coming. I intend to start putting together some videos where I'm going to be showing you guys some of my different katas and different forms that I often talk about in my main website. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to get there and visit my main website at www.thebloggingbuddhist.com, all one string. And be sure to like and follow the blog as well for daily content on martial arts, diabetes, Buddhism and philosophy, and health and fitness. And hopefully it won't take me another week to post another video. Have a good one, guys.